Developing stories, guys. If it we are talking about developments, what's happening. Lucia Piri, how are you? Abdul, good to see you. Yes. Share, guys. Like any share panon. Let me share and then we get started. Ba Ramson, how are you? Greetings, Ba Brenda. Raja, good to see you. Crispin, share, send a like, pack to my Facebook, watch the boost. Ngatamlet, to mama like your Facebook, to watch the boost. Mama Chichi, good to see you as usual. Tag somebody, share with somebody. We are counting down, guys. Counting down to... Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the roses. Alison Tuligabotu. We are fine, guys. Tuligabotu, asa. Anyway, we are going to allow TikTok. I won't waste time. I'm just going to give updates here. To allow TikTok on... we have an open debate over there. Create a Mupangiama TikTok account. Because Tatwishi Wefka Chitika, we don't know what is going to happen to this cyber bill. We don't know what will happen to the cyber bill, but we pray that this cyber bill falls flat, that it is shot down. Otherwise, ingayapita cyber bill nishtwabama problems. Pantu, Facebook, kutiba kukonka easily. So once mufile mwaisula ma TikTok account, and then you have to use an alias names. Ama AKA, pama TikTok nga mwaisula ma account kubonfia ma AKA. Noto kubika mashina yenu. That is law inga ya pita. Now tulenda padi strategy. Nga chako bati, ilo balefo kupisha mairo. Nga ya pita. One, we have to start communicating myself in Shakareke. But then, mweba di Zambia, nga mlevo mfia. If you decide to stay on Facebook, nishpa Facebook, mukala tamba fe takuli kukomenta, takuli kuchita share. Because once you comment or share, you'll be a sitting duck. They'll come after you on Facebook and in our WhatsApp. And why I'm saying that is because WhatsApp, it won't fear phone number. Facebook, naena, it won't fear phone number. So they can easily track you using Facebook na WhatsApp. So once mwebasha kwa tama TikTok, mwambo kuisula ma TikTok account ya paso. Mwisule ama TikTok, mwisule na ama Twitter X. Ero mwisule na YouTube ngatama kwata. So if itatu ma security bali koma, ama platforms ya TikTok, YouTube, na Twitter, security privacy bali koma, it's not easy for someone who send your personal information. They can't track you. Pa Twitter na pa Facebook. So, a picture ili apa ma profile yenu kubika fetch picture chimbita kubike chobe. Because law inga ya pitanga wabika po picture yobe kuisa kusenda. They can identify you. So nga mapanga ma account ya kubika po fe nangu ichoni, nangu mwapanga AI yari isa nomba, artificial intelligence kuti apanga kadori of you, and you use that as your profile picture, and you use a name, anonymous name. So we have to survive, guys. These are just tips to survive the new law if this new law kicks in. So that is that about surviving, and we will be here and follow the situation closely as it unfolds. If this new cyber laws will pass, then we'll be here to update people on what they need to do to avoid being jailed for exercising their freedom of speech or opinion. Yes, so that is that on the cyber bill. Coming to the main topic that is coming up is the hearing case, the ECL eligibility case, which we are all worried, we are anxious. And I watched last night the live interview of Ambassador Mwamba with Counsel John Sangwa, and please watch it if you have not seen that interview. That was conducted between Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba and Counsel John, is it Sangwa? Please do so. It was very educative. I watched it last night, and I learned a lot of things listening to Counsel Sangwa explain everything that happened. Like, let me just bring my notebook. I wrote notes as I was watching that the video. It's on YouTube and also on Emmanuel Mwamba's page. Just hold on. Come in. Come on, yeah. Give me 20 minutes. No? No, you have. Can you come after 20 minutes? Yeah, can you come after 20 minutes? See? Okay. See? Sorry. Okay, guys, I'm back. So we were talking about the interview with Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba and Counsel John Sangwa, where he explained this eligibility case. And I learned a lot. From watching that. I learned a lot from listening to John Sangwa. He explained a lot of things, and I did a summary. Let me just share what I picked from the interview yesterday between Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba and Counsel John, is it Sangwa? Yes. So thanks for joining, guys. Just hold on. I'm just pulling up my notes here. Okay. So yes. So my notes from the notes that I took yesterday. So there was that important interview between Ambassador Mwamba and Counsel John Sangwa, and these are the important points that I took. One, that the Con Court is the highest court in the land, and whatever they make is a final ruling. Like, there's no other court which can judge after a decision is made by the Con Court. Also, another important point which came is that this case is not about ECA or HH. It's about the Constitution and the laws of Zambia. So I think we Zambians should look at this case as a test on our democracy, because whatever will be ruled will be a precedent to the performance of or judgment of the Constitutional Court. There were also comments that Mr. Sangwa also said the courts are not saints, and the courts themselves, the judges, can make mistakes. And Mr. Sangwa said that, yes, but ECL is eligible. And it is wrong that, the current government or Michelo Kizombe can go and ask the same court that ruled 4 times to make a different result. You go back to the same court. Why are they going back to the same court when the court has already ruled 4 times. The thing is, they want the court to overrule what they did. The firing of 3 judges also does not help. The firing of 3 judges who clearly voted against that rule, that is also a statement to show that the people who are remaining on the bench will rule in favor of what UPND government want. The other thing which came out from the interview is that Zambia is on a dangerous path if they continue with what they are doing. This is not a win or lose for the court. It is a win or lose for the Zambian people. Again, we emphasize what will be decided on Tuesday is a lose for the Zambian people. So the other thing which came out from this discussion is clearly the court wants the decision to be manipulated. A decision which has been ruled 3-4 times, they want it to be manipulated to suit the people who want to bar ECL from being on the ballot in 2026. Another important revelation which came out is that in 1996, that law was used to stop KK. The same law was used to stop KK. Now, how many years later, in 2024, we are trying to use a law on technicality to disqualify Edgar Lungu. And it's going to be a criminal case, and I'll come to that. The other thing that came up from this video, the interview, is like the judges, they were emotional. I think at an earlier sitting, Counsel Sagwa was not allowed to give his presentation, and the judges were emotional. And it was also said that judges should be guided by facts and the law and must separate themselves from their emotions. Like judges should look at the law. They should not publicly display if they like Lungu or if they like HH. Once judges start displaying their emotional attachments, then we know that the decision will be probably not fair. So we are watching this. We are looking at how the judges have been behaving. They have been showing their emotions. And this in itself is a red flag. And I remember Mr. Sagwa giving an example to say, if you are going into surgery, it's a heart surgery. As a patient, you should know who is operating on you, and if the equipment that is going to be used is sanitized, is surgically acceptable and sanitized. So Sagwa used this example to say you cannot go to a heart surgery knowing that, the surgeon is not qualified, knowing that the equipment used is contaminated. You have a right to say no. If I go into this heart surgery, through this surgery, and the conditions of the surgical room itself is not sanitized, I might not make it. So, as a patient, you have a right to deny to go ahead with that procedure. And this is where Honorable His Excellency by ECL is. He is faced to face judges where 3 of the judges have been fired, and some of the judges remaining, they are showing emotions against him. So I'm here to say, if this Concord overrules its own decision, which decided 4 times, then we have a bone to chew. We shall actually question the basis of why they are going to overturn the decision they made themselves. Another thing which Wasagwa said was that the judges have a huge responsibility. Basically, the judges, they have a life. It's a matter of life and death. They have the life of someone in their hands. The decision they make can kill someone or give someone life. So we are appealing to the judges to be very partial, sober-minded, and remove their emotions from this case. The fight must be focused on the Constitution, what the Constitution says, and not what the personality says. Because at the end of it all, it is the Zambians who is suffering. It is the people who choose a leader, not 7 judges, not one person going to question the validity of a candidate's standing on a ballot. It is compromised. Zambia is a democracy, and we believe that power is to the people. Let the people choose or decide whom they want to be on the ballot, and let Edgar Lungu and Ba HH face each other at the ballot. There is this argument which is people are saying to say he was sworn in twice. So swearing in twice is just like signing a contract. All of us, we have signed so many contracts. It's like a job. When you go for a job, you sign a contract to do the job. And the president, that is a symbolic thing that happens, is you get sworn in, and the person can be sworn in multiple times. As long as you have a contract, the presidential term, for example, in Zambia is 5 years. So the full presidential term, mark my words, full presidential term is 5 years. So the presidential term is 5 years, and once somebody serves 5 years, that is considered as a full term. And they sign that contract to serve that time at a ceremony, which is a swearing in. So a swearing in represents the acceptance of office, but is not a full determinant of a full term. A term's length is defined by the Constitution, not by formalities like swearing in. So swearing in is just a formality. And for you people who are saying he was sworn in twice, is a shallow way to argue. It's a technical way which they are trying to use to disqualify ECL. And that is unfair and undemocratic. We are not going to allow the term sworn in twice to allow any leader, starting with the ECL, to be disqualified from being on a ballot on a technicality, because swearing in is a formality of accepting a job. Now let us look at the premature term versus full term. A full term, such as the Zambian constitution, is 5 years and starts after a general election and ends at the next one. Partial terms of office are caused by by-elections due to emergencies and should not be treated as full term, as they are not the result of a full electoral process. So this is important to understand, because ECL came to what we call the half term because of a crisis. So he had to step in and go to by-election, and he became the president. So that was not a full term. Partial terms from by-elections or emergencies should not be treated as full terms, as they are not the result of a full electoral process. Penalizing a leader for stepping in such emergencies undermines fairness. Historically, we look at KK. KK, after 27 years of rule after 27 years of ruling, the parliament, our government, brought in this law to stop him because he had ruled for 27 years. It's a long time. In a contrasting to ECL's time in office, including his partial term from a by-election should not be considered as 2 full terms. The term limits are meant to prevent power monopolization, not to disqualify leaders due to technicalities. We have to be fair and consistent. Disqualifying ECL based on partial term discourages capable leaders from stepping in during a national emergency. The spirit of term limits is to balance leadership continuity with democratic fairness, not to penalize leaders for exceptional circumstances. Disqualifying ECL based on the technicality risks undermining the democratic processes and fairness. We must ensure that the term limits applied in a way that reflects true intent, to promote democratic principles, not to punish leaders for acting during a national emergency. So, that is it, guys. It is in black and white. If you say ECL is going to be disqualified because he was sworn in twice, then you are actually, that is undemocratic, and you are disqualifying somebody on a technicality because ECL stepped in for the by-election due to a national crisis that we had. And the full term of Zambian presidency is 5 years, and it is through the normal electoral process. So I've made my point on that we are not going to sit here and allow judges to disqualify a person whom the people want to be on the ballot on technicality. That was going to be an injustice. And all the judges who are going to overturn their own decision after deliberating it for 4 times, they will be held accountable. And people are not going to accept this. We are not going to accept them deciding against what they decided 4 times without no new evidence. It is going to be criminal. The other thing I want to say is that we watched Rufyatayali yesterday, and he was saying that, oh, PF has no money, ECL has no money, so there's nothing we can do because PF has no money and ECL has no money. To me, I find that insulting. Like, okay, even if Rufyatayali knows that ECL has no money, for him to come and say that publicly, I think it's an insult and disrespect to the former Republican president. I think as social media personalities, if you have a lot of people following you, you have to watch what you say and you have to have boundaries. You can't talk about people's financial capabilities. And we all know that even Donald Trump, who is a billionaire, does not use his personal money for politics. People contribute money to run that campaign for Donald Trump. Donald Trump does not get money from his pocket. So I think this is where we are getting it wrong as Zambia again, where we expect politicians to dig in their pocket to run a campaign. And the other thing that I want to say is, when our freedom fighters were fighting for freedom, there was no money involved. When you are patriotic, no one pays me. Nobody pays me to do what I do. I just do it because of the love of my country. So even you, if you want to go and witness the proceedings, you go there because you don't want to. If you feel that abantu mufire mwatunta abantu amabasi, that is a luxury. Ngamulelwe nkondo na wikala panga ndati yonsha ku nkondo kamobese mukunsenda na bus. What are you doing? What are you saying? What are you saying? Bakesa kuipaira panganda popeni. So what if itile yamba Muzambia nomba is a matter of life and death. We all have to stand and fight for our country peacefully. We don't want people. Myself, I am not going to support anyone preaching a message of Ichola, putting money first before patriotism. That person will be my enemy. And I'm saying it here publicly and clearly that if you are going to start preaching for people to pay people for fighting for their own rights, then you and I, we are going our different ways. Because Avena Kaunda, Takuru Wale ni Pilavena Kaunda. Takuru wa perepo Kaunde Chola, Avena Kaunda Valera Mumpanga. Eh? Mu 1991, Nina Nwat Perepo Chola champion. When we decided to go from one party stage to multi-party, who gave who money? This is what we need to preach. Anyone preaching to say, Utakulimpia, yokurefa ya basi, kwenda. Inena lenda, kuya kumushukuli ba mayotu alenda. 4 hours to lenda pe punch. Even mu Zambia, muriamu ine mulusaka kundola. We used to walk before mamin buses yaishi. Ama UBZ bus yali ya kupenda. We used to walk long distances. So today, when it comes to going to show your support, you want people to send buses, then nothing is going to happen. Let us preach people. If you are blessed to have a voice to speak on social media to the people, don't start misleading people by telling people, I am saying this because abengi mu Zambia bana banono. 70% of the population of Zambia, they are young people. And if you start telling them, do not go to court because you need a bus to come and pick you up, what is that? You are misleading Abanon. Because more freedom fighting is a sacrifice. And don't just start talking about PF. This fight is not about PF or about Lungu. It is about the constitution of Zambia. So every Zambian should be worried. Next, it will be you, Bamwamba David Dapa. You will be in a position of Lungu, and then they will disqualify you on technicality. This is what we are saying. No. Let us not put a bad precedent where if we hate someone, we find a way from disqualifying that person from being on the ballot. We know very well that Lungu only served 1 full term. The other one was an emergency. And you can't say because he was sworn in twice, he can't. No, it doesn't hold water. So, then Zambia, all I can say in closing is, Imeni, go and support the ECL as it is your constitutional right. Be peaceful. No one is advocating for violence. Zambia has never been a violent country, never. Ni mono koba police bachila block abaichi. Why are you stopping people from meeting Balungu? Why? Eh? Pantu ba HH. Anybody more position? Abaichi bale lala ku community house principally. Zambia police never sent police to go and round up all those youths who were sleeping outside the community house. They let them because it is their freedom to associate. Bali balekele 2-3 months. Aba ichebalela la community house kudia. Elo busheba HH bale funye mpia ba ifilefyo bale di abantu kudia community house. All the youths who camped outside community house. Who was providing the money? Did the HH provide money? People just found a way to survive. So now that the times are flipped, you want ECL to dig in their pocket and start people faring buses. When ikale nindemi eba nafuti, inga mwaeba chiyo ba ECL bakatumama basi, fienu ifyo ba ECL tabakachule. Ba ECL lolo, bashito bunga pari 1,000 lelo, it won't be the problem. Because the problem is for you. But ECL is doing this for you Zambians. And you have to see beyond this smoke screen of which these people have used to try and paint Edgar the devil that he's not. And we believed it. We fell prey to this same smoke screen they used in opposition. So we are here and we'll be talking. We are here and we'll be talking. For me, myself, Cyberlonga, Yapita, I won't be affected because one, I'm not in the Zambian cyberspace, so their law won't affect me. So me, I'll continue talking. But it's you people in the Zambian cyberspace, you are the one who are going to be affected. So you have to start creating accounts on TikTok and YouTube and also Twitter where they cannot identify you. Your privacy is protected on TikTok and YouTube and Twitter. But on WhatsApp, your privacy is not protected. If you say something on Facebook, on WhatsApp, they'll come after you and charge you. So we pray that this law they are trying to implement falls flat. It doesn't go anywhere. So Ediashirio, we are just appealing to the judges because whatever they review, we shall also review them. No one is above the law. Around their world, there are cases, judges have also been questioned on the decisions they have made. So in this case, it's straightforward. If the judges decide to ban ACL, it will be on technicality and it will be criminal, to which I think the legal organizations, international communities will step in to redress this situation. So myself, my heart is at peace. I know that Lungu will be on the ballot, and if it's good. These things are even happening early because the election is far away. So this is a blessing in disguise, because even if they try to do whatever they do, by 2026, this situation, if they overturn it, we are going to fix it. We have enough time to fix it. And the international community is on our side because Zambia, Teafiala democracy, the democracy that we practice is inherited. So we have to follow international laws. And these judges, they can't treat Zambia like it's their own country where they can rule whatever they want. The decision was made by law, and them trying to conspire to knock out someone on technicality will be criminal. And the chickens will come to roost. A moment of reckoning will come to roost. Should they cook up some evidence to knock a candidate out on technicality, that will be questioned, and we shall take it from there. But for now, all we know is ECL is eligible, and if the judges decide to do something else, then we shall cross that bridge when we get there. And finally, Abena Lusaka, in fact, not only Abena Lusaka, the whole Zambia, let's show up and show support. Even if you are not a PF or UPND, if you are just a well-meaning Zambian, show up and show support for the Constitution. Our Constitution is at test, you know. Our judiciary is at test. This is a historical moment, and it's a global moment. It's not a small thing. What is happening in Zambia is not a small thing. It's not about ECL or HH. It's about the Constitution of Zambia and the judiciary system, to see if the judiciary system will stand the test of time. Yes. We shall see if the judiciary will crack under pressure or not. Taliban gold. If you want to prove that this is gold, you have to pass it through heat. So this thing the judiciary is going through is going to prove that our judiciary is solid or is not. So we are waiting. We are waiting to see if our judiciary is solid or not. If it is not solid, it shall crack. But if it is solid, it shall stand the tests of its own judgments. So this is actually testing the judiciary. Yes, KK was stopped from contesting, but KK had overruled. he ruled for 27 years. And that's why I said go and watch the interview between Ambassador Mwamba and John Sangwa, and then you understand what is trying to happen now. They are trying to stop an innocent man who came in as a caretaker due to an emergency. They are trying to use a technicality of swearing in for to say he was sworn in for 2 terms as a reason to knock him out. When we know that a swearing in represents the acceptance of office, but is not the sole determinant of a full term. A term's length is defined by the Constitution, law, not by a procedure, a formality of swearing in. And for us in Zambia, the full term is 5 years. The full term is 5 years, and Edgar Lungu came in as a caretaker due to national emergency. So knocking him out of a presidential race, basing it on that fact that he was sworn in 2 terms, is impartial. Yes, it will be undemocratic, and it will be questionable in every court of law. Yeah. So we are here to say this fight is about the fight for Zambia's democracy. It's not even about ECL or HH. It's a test of the Zambian democracy. It is the test of the Zambian constitution, and it is the test of our judges. Are they going to stand a test of their own judgment? If they crack on their own judgment, then we know that this concord is compromised, and it must be abolished. It must be abolished. The Concord ruled 4 times already using the Constitution, and you can't be changing judgment to suit who is in power. A judgment is a judgment. Otherwise, this is why cases are being reopened from 8 years ago to suit who is in power, and then people are being picked up to go and be charged for a case that was already closed. What is that? Where is Zambia getting to? Enough is enough. Zambians, everybody, the lawyers need to say no. This case was closed. Otherwise, there won't somebody like HH himself has that case of treason with Balungu. How would he feel 10 years from now that case reopens, even if a case is closed? You know? So I think the thing is, emotions must be taken out of our politics. Let us just respect our law and remove our personal hatred and grudges. Let us have a fair campaign. And let these people meet in the ballot. That's it. Let these people meet in the ballot, because if not, if they say ECL is ineligible, according to the Constitution, we might go to a by-election in 90 days, which is March. Now, is the country ready to go to a by-election? That is the other question. It's a double-edged sword. The implications of declaring ECL could be devastating. And opinion polls, if you follow some opinion polls, already if we were going to go to the elections today, ECL will beat HH. That is a fact. We are a democracy. So for me, I think let the sleeping dogs lie, is all I can say. And let ECL and HH meet in the ballot. And the wise thing that the judges can do is just throw out this case. And anyone who tries to open this case should be charged with contempt. Chapwa. The court has already ruled. The court has ruled 4 times already. So this case should be thrown out. And anybody who opens this case again should be charged with contempt. Because once bali kwa terminal, na church bali kwa terminal ndiya treason. So bako unfortunately ba church 10 years from now, bake sure kesi ya boidia. And then he try to work the judges so that they sentence HH for treason. How is he going to feel? Because some of these things, maybe Lungu will not even be there, but people will remember this and they will try to feel what you are making other people feel. You are planting the seed of hate and revenge. Bonse mwebale monanti munesambirisha Lungu. Tamunesambirisha Lungu. You are planting the seed of hate kuma Zambians. Actually, you know, depending on if bakapingula, sanctions might come to Zambia. Bonse ama Zambians are accredited kuma foreign missions kuma UN. Some of them will be dropped. Already sanctions are there. Last week we saw sanctions. EU and USA got sanctions on corruption. Because the whole world is watching. It is going to have serious implications. So the lawyers, hold your salt. Otherwise you will render yourself useless. The Zambian bar will be rendered useless. Because once if you are quite legal shani yakapoto muma foreign missions yumu the bakala milore shafe so ba misura no kuti if they wanted to appoint you they won't, and then if you are appointed they if your contract is coming to expiry they won't renew it. So I end here, guys. I'll see you on TikTok. We are going to have a live discussions. Yeah, let's just start campaigning, and we start campaigning for 2026. That's it. Otherwise, overturning this decision it will be a nightmare. Mukalete mpasase muchalo. You bring problems which you never thought would come. So just leave it. Ama judges aboveni abo. Mwandin tulerandafi. Tulerandafi. Ama judges muishibire. Mukaya muba mukaba muma court mule rondorora. Good night, guys. We'll be here. We'll be talking for updates every day. Though we wait for the court to the parliament to rule on the cyber bill. You and I need drama imbi. Good night, guys. See you on TikTok. Bye.